welcome back to my channel. Today we've got a long overdue video for you. And in today's video, I want to explain a lift which I get a lot of compliments on my socials whenever it's integrated in a workout, and that is a barbell squat. I think I can say for myself that I can really master the barbell squat, and it's because I've been, I don't know, a million times already in over 10 years of training. I think so. I think I've already done the barbell squat for a million times. So you can expect that you can master it after trying and like really doing it for so many times. And I know that it's not as easy for everyone, and it's partly because a lot of people don't want to start with an empty bar and therefore increase the weight too fast before they even really have full control over the lift. This is one of the mistakes, and there's a lot more, and this is also what I'm going to start the video with. So I'm gonna show you the most common mistakes I personally see on social media, and that are very common actually, because the barbell squat is a lift that is very technical, and it takes a lot of practice actually to really master it. And you know, we live in a society nowadays, everything needs to go fast, but this is also the reason, if people ask me, have you ever had injuries? No, I have never had injuries in over 10 years of training, and this is because I've always prioritized my technique over weight. And this is very important when it comes to the barbell squat. So first of all, we will have a look on how we should not do it, and then we will go over all the steps and like the full guide on how you can master the barbell squat. Okay, mistake number one. Can you already see it? It's almost as high as my height, and that's not as high, but it's too high to actually properly unlock the barbell, which caused me to really step on my tippy toes, as you can see. And this alone, imagine if the barbell has a lot of weight on it, that's already very tricky to cause an injury. Then the second one is when you have the barbell on your shoulders and you go down, a lot of people first lift their butt, see my torso, and then lift the weight like that. It's very dangerous for your lower back and really causing a big imbalance. Then another mistake is, as you go down and you want to go up, knees are collapsing inwards. You see, very tricky and very dangerous to get a knee injury. And this is typically has to do with your feet stance. So you either should go for a wider or more narrow feet stance, depending on your hip mobility. The third mistake is when your heels are coming off the floor, and this has to do with poor ankle mobility. So you want to have your feet always fully on the ground and really push through your heels. For a lot of people, due to poor ankle mobility, it's difficult. The last one is, this is mainly because of going too heavy at once, is poor depth. Like, I can squat 200 kilos like this, but let's be clear, that's not a squat. Now, as we have seen and go through the mistakes, it's time to start with how you should actually perform it step by step. And the first step obviously is gonna be the bar height. This is very important, as I said, during the mistakes. When you place the barbell too high, it's very tricky to unlock it. So you wanna really have a stable position, and ideally you want to place the barbell just below your shoulders at around armpit height. So when you go under the barbell, you can easily unlock it, and you see I don't need to step on my tippy toes, and I can just straight walk backwards. We have the perfect bar height. We can go over to step number 2, and this is the bar placement on your body. So there's actually two different variations. You can have the high bar squat, which is actually the squat variation I always do, and therefore the barbell is resting on my traps, as you can see, not in my neck, but on my traps. This is a great squat variation if you want to shift more focus to your quadriceps, but there exists another variation, and this is the low bar squat. As you can see, the barbell is more resting on my rear delts, my torso is leaning more forward, and this is basically a squat variation, as you can see, where I'm leaning more forward and where you should be able to lift more weight. But I'm gonna be honest, this is optional what your focus is, and also what feels most comfortable for you. As I said, for me, the high bar is my go-to variation, feels good for me, and I can go really heavy as well. So this was step number 2. Then one more thing that is important with the bar placement, you don't want to place your hands too wide on the barbell, but really keep them as close as possible to each other and really squeeze your shoulder blades and lock in that upper back and really have a tight and stable position. The wider you place your hands, the more unstable the barbell will be on your upper body. So keep a narrow grip. So now we have the perfect bar placement. We can rack out the barbell and take 1, 2 steps backwards and then a third additional step to place your feet perfectly in place. So something that you should avoid as well is unlocking the bar and then like take too many steps backwards because you're losing energy. Yes, so step 4 is feet positioning. Now, you want to always keep your feet in line with your knees. This is very important. So ideally, you want to place your feet, your toes, slightly outwards, about 15 to 30 degrees. This also really depends on your hip mobility. And as you stand here, you bring the barbell, you see, you're opening your hips. Step number 5. Please take a look at my elbows. Right now, my elbows are really pushing backwards. You want to bring your elbows forward, you see? And by bringing your elbows forward, you really ensure the tightness in your upper back and really ensure a stable position. Step number 6 is breathing. Very important because this ensures that you can really, make it through your whole lift. If your breathing is not on point, then your lift will suck. So, very important, as you start, you will inhale, take a very deep breath, brace your core as if someone is going to punch in your belly, really squeeze your core. You see? So, when I'm taking a deep breath, I'm holding my breath the entire lift until I'm about to push the weight back upwards, and then I'm slowly breathing out. Now this is not really like a tip, or you could consider it as a tip as well, but basically if you have done all these steps correctly as I've mentioned and showed, as you go down, please take a look at where the barbell is now placed. Basically, the bar pad, so this is the line that the barbell is following to the ground. The bar pad should follow one straight line through the center of my foot. And this is a great indication of a good squat movement. So this is what you should strive for when you're doing the barbell squat. Okay. The second last step is depth. Also very important for a quality barbell squat is the minimum depth is around parallel or 90 degrees angle, as you can see, but if your mobility allows, go deeper. Of course, this takes a bit of practice, And as you can see here, my hip crease is lower than my knee joint, and therefore it's putting even more focus on my quadriceps compared to when I'm in a parallel position. So, but again, start with parallel and work your way to a bigger range of motion. It can only benefit you in the long run. Final thing you should pay attention to, or I would say should avoid, and that is when you go through your lift and you go back up. Something I used to do when I was a beginner is to really overextend the hips at the top, because I always thought that this is going to increase the glute engagement and give me bigger glutes, but this is definitely not the truth. So instead of doing this, you just want to slightly contract the glutes, you see, like this, and then go down again. So if you master all of these tips, you can easily work your way up to 100, 120, 130 kilos because research says that you should be able to lift twice your body weight. So I weigh around 70 kg and my personal PB has been 140 kilos. Okay, it's 2 years ago. I haven't really been training or focusing on hitting PRs or so. But yeah, I once managed to do 2 reps with 140 kg, which aligns with what research says. So let's bring it to the test. Let's throw on some weight and prove that you can still lift heavy with a proper form. VTech nog 20 nulde. Ik ga 15 nog doen. $90, but we will go for 100. Let me take a sip of protein water before we go into this heavy lift. It's actually the second time I squat in a very long time. I haven't really done it on a regular basis myself, but still though, it shows that even though you've been doing it for so long and so many times, even though if you took a pause with this lift and implement it again after a couple of weeks or months, you're still mastering it nevertheless. So let's go. Bam! And that's how you should do it. Yeah, this was a video, guys. I hope it was helpful. If it was, please let me know in the comments or give the video a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And, oh my God, I'm out of breath. And yeah, I hope it was educational for you. And thank you so much. Hope to see you next time. Bye.